What's good, OGs and warriors? It's your main man Built Up Real Nice, and today we're tuning into the online gaming man cave. And listen, this one is a hot debate in our community lately. We got three games here: LiesofP, the first Berserker, Khazan, and Black Myth Wukong. Two Souls-like games, one RPG, but somehow they've ended up in the same web. Which Souls-like truly delivers the best experience, combat, visuals, difficulty? We're breaking it all down here today, and I'm gonna try to do it in like 7 minutes. Stick around, but first and foremost, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button for more content of this nature, from RPGs to Souls-like games, from past games to future games and drops. So let's talk about combat and style of these three games. Like I said, we have the first Berserker Khazan, we have LiesofP, and Black Myth Wukong. Let's talk about LiesofP first. LiesofP is clean and calculated. You've got blade handle mix-up, Legion arms, and parries that feel like performance arts. And now to think about it, those Legion arms are pretty deadly. Then you got Khazan. This game don't care about your feelings. I don't care if you woke up mad, sad, glad. This game will destroy your happiness in seconds. Every boss hits like a truck, and parrying is your only lifeline. You miss one, GG's, you'll be starting it over again. Then there's Wukong, which switches it up completely. You're agile, wild, mystical. You're dodging, casting, transforming, all while spinning a staff like a legend. And let's not forget those drinks and brews. You gotta make sure you're sipping on the right stuff to make sure that staff is working correctly. Now, each of these three games have a different world and different story behind it. And like me, I love storytelling, but I also love a lot of action. So these three games does both for me, and doesn't make me fall asleep, if that makes sense. I played games before there's too much storytelling, not enough action. But these three games, it's a win-win situation in both. Now, when we get into LiesofP, LiesofP drops you into a haunted steampunk world full of puppets, lies on top of lies. It's deep, it's dark, and philosophical. Then when we get into Khazan, it puts you in the boots of a betrayed general. Picture somebody being betrayed and a general at the same time. It's gritty, brutal, and personal. Less lore dumps, more emotion. And those stories are really deep in the first Berserker Khazan. You're going to see a lot of betrayal, and I'm not giving anything away, but just know it deals more with emotions in that game. And then you got Black Myth Wukong. It's just epic. Straight from Chinese mythology, you're fighting gods, monsters, and demons, all on your path to be a legend. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, in each one of these games, you got to become a legend in order to beat it. And it's a pretty arduous task to beat these games first time through. They have even had updates to make levels easier. So you got a beginner level, an intermediate level, and a hard level. So for your hardcore players, you'll have the option. If it's too hard for you, you want to do something easy, you can take that option. Now, let's get into the loadouts, the skill menus, the transformation gameplay on each of these games. And let's start with LiesofP first. LiesofP has so many weapons, from the big bonk hammer drops to wrenches, to puppet wheels. It's all type of stuff, but Legion arms, fable arts, and custom weapon builds let you shape your style. So if you're slow and you just want that big bang, or if you're fast and you want something to chop you up really quick, they got every weapon to match your play style. Now in Khazan, it's just a skill test. No gimmicks, you level up your weapon knowledge and earn every skill through pure mastery. You just gotta learn the skills and keep going after each boss. Now, Black Myth Wukong opens up this thing wide. Beast forms, elemental power, stealth, magic, all on the table. The flexibility here is wild. And let me tell you, some of those transformations are unreal. So if you enjoy transformations, that's probably want to be the game you want to go with first. If you enjoy just building your skills, not too much build required in certain weapons, then you want to go with the first Berserker Khazan. And then if you like the mix of both without the transformations, then you want to go with LiesofP. Now, let's talk pain. LiesofP is tough, especially in New Game Plus. Bosses remix their moves and force tight parrying timing. Also, these bosses in the first run through, if your perfect guard is not on timing, you will be destroyed every time. And let's just say you're gonna need a couple of controllers, because I almost crushed mine in half. But let's talk about Khazan. This game straight up wants you to run your life. It expects perfection and punishes hesitation instantly. So if you're thinking and you're a slow thinker, Khazan may not be the game for you to start off with. It's gonna take a lot of patience with that. Black Myth Wukong kind of has a curve. It starts manageably, but once those guys show up, it's a whole new level of chaos. You will get humbled really quickly. And I tell people, every first boss in these games are like tutorial bosses. You want to learn it. Don't rage quit. Don't quit the game. It is teaching you how to play the rest of the game to get the full enjoyment out of it. When you get into your first boss into these 3 games, take your time, learn, read, slow down. A lot of people lose interest in these games because they just think it's just a button smashing game and I'm going to kill everybody just by smashing buttons. No, these games have been created for builds and skill. Now let's talk about the visuals and sounds because I'm big on visual. LiesofP delivers haunting visuals, gothic architecture, chilling puppets, and a soundtrack that cuts deep. This soundtrack is amazing. Do all the side mission, get all the records, and I know you're like, wait, music is in this game? You got to understand, when you're playing LiesofP, your whole mentality has shifted. It is a bougie type game for me, and I absolutely love it. And the reason why I call it bougie is because you can just get on the game and work on farming, work on building, while listening to classical music or music that matches the storyline. I've never had that experience before, but LiesofP brings that to you. And this music is amazing. You can tell the soundtrack was not put together at the last minute just to have something else in the game. It is part of the game. It is embedded in the game. And the storytelling that goes along with the soundtracks is amazing. So please do not miss out on the records in that game. I am a big music lover. Like I said, if you love music, you love classical gaming, you love to get a little gritty at the same time, you love different type of builds, you love to take your time in fights, you love to attack quickly in fights, LiesofP has it all. The only thing they do not have are transformations and things of that nature, but the storyline behind Pinocchio and this gritty tale is by far the best Souls game I have come across. When we get into Khazan, from the blood to the sound of every slash, it is designed to make you feel like you're fighting for your life. And the first Berserker Khazan is slash, 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 blood everywhere, blood over here, blood over there. The way the skill tree is set up, it's going to be a lot of blood, but it's just a overly gritty game. Like I said, he's a general. He wants payback. He's working his way through the storyline, and I'm not going to give out any secrets on the game, but just know emotion is tied into his fighting. So when you're fighting with the first Berserker Khazan, he's fighting through pain, he's fighting through passion, and you have to compare that with the graphics and visual that goes along with it. A lot of blood, cinematic in areas, fire, pain, just things you can't think of that is in this game that you can probably correlate with that is going on in a real life instance if you're battling with emotions or anything of that nature. Now, I'm not saying go out there and start slashing people up, but I'm just saying you can make a connection with the first Berserker Khazan due to the betrayal that happens in there, due to the storyline, and due to the emotions he has tied into what's going on around him. Then we got Black Myth Wukong. Now this is like mythological fire, the lightning, the boss animations, the particle effects, the pure eye candy with legendary scale. Black Myth Wukong was one of my first Souls-like games, which is really an RPG that made me fall in love with following Souls-like games. Now, if you're looking for something easy to get to, when you die, this game is kind of forgiving. You don't really lose anything like the other 2 games you play. In the first Berserker Khazan, you got to go back and get your Lacrimum. In LiesofP, it's your Ergo. But with Black Myth Wukong, you don't really lose anything if you die. But the bosses are hard, if that makes sense. So it's kind of is a balance, but this is a good leeway into getting into Souls games. Even though it's technically an RPG type game, this game is just full of cinematic storytelling. You're going to see the gods, you're going to see the bosses, you're going to see alternate endings and titles. You got to make sure you do all the side missions, fight all the side bosses. There's a lot of secrets in this game. So take your time with this game and enjoy it from that standpoint, more so than any other standpoint from the other 2 games of having like, oh my God, if I die, I'm going to lose my Ergo or my Lacrimum. Just enjoy this game. The fight scenes, the fighting, the skill set, and make sure that skill tree of yours, you really read what's going on because those skills can be a game changer. For example, they call me the Reflection King and I've beaten Uzma, I always pronounce his name wrong, over 350 times, but we're not going to talk about that. You can just go on my page and look at it. All right, so I've broken down the 3 games. I'm gonna just close it out with my final comparison. And let me just tell you, you're probably gonna ask me, what's the final word? What do I choose? What's the best game overall? And if you want a deep story, multiple endings, and a weapon variety, go LiesofP. If you want the raw challenge, no crutches, just pure skill, Khazan is your trial by fire. Try the first Berserker Khazan. Last but not least, if you want magic, movement, and cinematic all together, Black Myth Wukong is the journey. Hopefully this video has helped you choose which game you're going to start first. Me and my OGMC crew and I still can't agree on which one is the king. So now I'm throwing it at you. What do you think is the best game? And guys, let me know, what other games have you played? I got to get into Sekiro. I got to get into Bloodborne. I got to get into a lot of other games people wanted me to play. But just let me know your comments. Which Souls-like has you hooked, or which one broke your controller first? I'm built so real nice. This is OGMC. Until the next time, keep your parries tight, your rolls clean, and stay built up.